going so far? Okay. I have a question for everyone. One you've probably heard a million times before, but what do you want to be when you grow up? Okay, let's be honest. Your answer has probably changed several times over the years, right? I know mine has, especially in the last decade. But here's what no one tells you when they ask you that question. What if your dream job doesn't exist yet because you're meant to create it? Think about it. Some of the coolest jobs that exist today, TikTok strategists, app developers, influencers, weren't around 10 to 15 years ago. They exist because someone decided to take a leap of faith and charted their own path. The first time someone asked me what I wanted to be when I grew up, I was 5. And honestly, I think that's a pretty loaded question to ask a little kid. How was I supposed to know what I wanted to be when I just learned how to read and write? Even though I didn't have a clue, I pondered on the question for a few days and then submitted my answer to the class yearbook. Needless to say, I didn't end up on America's Next Top Model. Since then, my answer has changed several times. In middle school, I wanted to be an anesthesiologist. After high school, I decided to pursue a nursing degree at Howard University. And by graduation, I had left the healthcare industry completely. And I wasn't alone. Turns out, career paths aren't as linear as we were taught. According to the US Bureau of Labor Statistics, people born in the early 80s held on average 9 jobs between the ages of 18 to 36. And Gen Z? We're expected to hold 15 to 18 jobs across 6 industries in our entire lifetime. So if you've ever questioned yours, guess what? You're right on track. I used to feel embarrassed for constantly changing my mind about what I wanted to do. But looking back, every pivot was teaching me something. There was no blueprint I had to follow. I needed to create it. So now, at 25, I have a career I made up. The funny thing is, like most first-generation kids, I was taught that success meant choosing between 3 paths: doctor, lawyer, or engineer. My parents immigrated from Barbados to Brooklyn, New York to build a better life for their kids. And I understood the weight of that sacrifice. So I played it safe. I chose healthcare. It was stable, respectable, and most importantly, something my parents would be proud of. But deep down, I wasn't happy. I remember sitting in my nursing classes feeling so disconnected. Everyone around me was excited about becoming a nurse, but I was constantly questioning whether or not I was making the right decision. I spent so many years of my life daydreaming about a career in health, specifically women's health. But when it came down to actually taking this journey, I couldn't do it. I've always been drawn to being creative and building something out of nothing. I knew with whatever I did in life, it needed to have creativity at its core. So, as a true Virgo rising who loves a plan, I drafted up one for the next 5 years and decided to stick to it. I changed my major from nursing to maternal and child health to stay on track to graduate. I even became a trained birth doula. I convinced myself that if I just stuck to the plan, that eventually I'd fall in love with this path. One more year, and then I'd finally be able to start living my new life. But then, 2020 changed everything. On February 3rd, 2020, I received a call that completely changed my life. My father has suddenly passed away. I still remember exactly where I was when I got the news. Standing at the corner of Georgia Avenue in DC, just minutes away from my dorm, the world around me kept spinning while mine shattered in a matter of minutes. I woke up that day on one life path, but by midday, I was at a standstill. So when a few weeks later, the CDC declared COVID-19 a global pandemic and the world shut down, it didn't make a difference to me. My life had already done a complete 180 the month before. My 5-year plan didn't stand a chance. There's no playbook about how to grieve during a pandemic when you're forced to stay at home away from everyone you love. As humans, we're wired to come together during times of stress, not stay 6 feet away at all times. As I sat in my grief from losing a parent and quarantine back home, I grew tired of playing it safe. The world was ending, and I felt like I was losing control. Nothing made sense anymore. For the first time, I had to ask myself, if everything could change overnight, why am I still clinging to a life that doesn't fulfill me? And I wasn't the only one feeling this way. In 2021, 47 million Americans, probably including some of you in this room, voluntarily left their jobs. This was the Great Resignation. People had had enough of careers that no longer served them. When faced with a mysterious airborne virus that shut down the world and kept you inside, you're bound to do a lot of self-reflection on your life. For months, I pondered on the same thought over and over. When the world opens up again, you have two choices. Go back to the life you were settling for, or finally decide what you want to be when you grow up. By the time graduation came around, I made a choice. I was going to bet on myself and design my own path, even if I had no idea what I was doing. The truth is, most of us don't have it all figured out, and that's okay. But here's the bigger issue. No one teaches us how to take ownership of our careers. We're told to pick a major, get a job, and that it'll all fall into place. But what if you don't know what you want to do? A 2022 U-Science survey of 500 students from the classes of 2019 to 2022 found that 42% weren't confident in their career or education choices, and 37% of graduates aren't sure they're on the right path. The way we explore careers is broken. The system hands us a short list of acceptable jobs. We're told to choose a career, but never how to create one. And worse, there's no support given to those who want to do more than one thing. At 21, I decided that if the path I wanted didn't exist, I was going to build it myself. In July 2021, 2 months after graduation, TikTok launched their pilot program, TikTok Resumes. It was a new way for job seekers to apply for roles with video resumes on the app. A few companies joined the initiative, TikTok included. After countless rejections on my post-grad job hunt, I decided to put myself out there and shoot my shot. I told myself, the worst someone could say is no. In an hour, I edited and posted my TikTok video. My work experiences weren't linear to my new career path, so my goal was to bring to life all of the cool things I had done so far. If no one was gonna let me tell them in an interview, I was gonna show them in my video. In 3 hours, my video had 5,000 views. By the end of the night, 10,000. My video was featured in the Wall Street Journal, CNBC Make It, and even landed on the desk of a campus recruiter at TikTok. That video changed everything for me. The moment my TikTok resume went viral, I realized something. Traditional career rules don't apply anymore. The workforce is changing. Mastering the art of storytelling was the key to standing out in the job hunt. It wasn't about waiting for the perfect job posting. It was about leveraging my skills, sharing my story, and putting myself out there in ways that were authentic to me. For the first time, I saw my career as something I could design and personalize, not one I had to fit into. The truth is, career ownership isn't about waiting for the moment. It's about creating opportunities for yourself. So that's what I did. I wanted to work in marketing, so I started a freelance agency supporting BIPOC businesses, grew my portfolio, and leveraged that experience to land a corporate marketing internship. I wanted to work at TikTok, so I applied for TikTok with a TikTok and landed the job. I wanted to work in early career recruiting, so I started my early career resources platform the 9th semester, developed my brand as a young Black female founder, and eventually landed a role at an HR tech company. No one gave me a seat at the table, so I built my own. There are 3 key things you need to accept when designing your dream career, and they all begin with shifting your mindset. The first thing you need to accept is that you are the lead designer of your career. As the CEO of your future, you call the shots, and you're in charge of drawing the map that'll take you to where you want to be. Don't wait for someone, a company, or an organization to get your career started. Instead of waiting for opportunities to fall into your lap, you need to create them. One way you can do this today is through freelancing. Pick a skill you currently have, writing, design, coding, and start selling your services. You can even go a step further by documenting your journey online and sharing the lessons you've learned along the way to help inspire and educate others. You can be a teacher and a student at the same time. The second thing you need to accept is that you're on your own timeline. Comparison is a thief of joy. Don't focus on others around you who seem to have it all figured out. Your journey is uniquely yours. Enjoy the steps and years it'll take to get you there. I recommend keeping a wins jar. Every month, you can fill it with your wins, big or small, and read them quarterly to reflect on your growth. Sometimes you don't realize how much you're growing because you're constantly raising the bar. This jar will remind you to slow down and reflect. And last but not least, embrace being multi-passionate. Don't limit yourself to one job title or niche in your career. Being multi-passionate is your superpower. It allows you to approach the world in a multitude of ways, learning something new on every step of your nonlinear path. I recommend exploring side projects, whether that's building an app, becoming a fitness instructor, or even DJing on the weekends. You have permission to be a jack of all trades. It's better than being a master of one. There are so many dominoes that had to fall in order for me to have taken complete, fearless ownership of my career and build the dream job I currently have. From allowing my grief to unlock new levels of bravery in me, to taking an unconventional approach to applying for roles post-grad. And now, currently running my early career resources platform full-time, helping thousands of young professionals navigate corporate America and design their dream careers. Each step I took, each risk, each pivot, created a ripple effect that led me here to a career I've built, brick by brick, on a foundation no one could shake. Today, even if you're decades away from being 5 years old, I challenge you to go home and ask yourself, what do you want to be when you grow up? Write out what you want to do, how you want to feel, and the legacy you hope to leave behind. Use this as your North Star to help you design your dream career. The biggest opportunities aren't often found on a job board. They're the ones we create for ourselves. So if there were no rules, no expectations, and especially no limitations, what would you create for yourself that little you would be proud of? Me? I have a career I made up, and so can you. Thank you.